Yo, what's good with it, man? Look, man, a good friend of mine named Jasmine Rowe told me some years ago, when you're not being the best version of yourself, you're robbing those around you and the world at large. God is giving everyone something within them that brings value. It could be a business, a certain talent, a gift, an idea, skill set, whatever it may be. All for the world value, man. It's the KYREN Monteiro Show, Season 4, Episode number 5. Don't be selfish. Give us value. Featuring the homie AMONTE King, man. Let's dive into some music, man. New single, Deadbeat, available on all platforms right now. You did. Flesh beat.
Yeah, I'm talking dead.
There you go.
Kill my flesh up on this track. That's another deadbeat. Go and get the body back. Cause that's another deadbeat. The way I ride this 808. That's another deadbeat. I'm leaning on the Holy Spirit when I feel my legs weak. Kill my flesh up on this track. That's another deadbeat. Go and get the body back. Cause that's another deadbeat. The way I ride this 808. That's another deadbeat. I'm leaning on the Holy Spirit when I feel my legs weak. You stand on something, yeah, that's what the word and
that be hard, bro.
What's going on, man? What's going on with it, man? The KYREN Monteiro Show, Season number 4, man. Episode number 5. Don't be selfish. Give us value, man. Round of applause for the listeners, man.
We made it.
Yes, sir, man. We're recording this podcast on Tuesday, June 25th. 2024, man. It's a blessing to be here with y'all. Make sure that y'all like and subscribe and download the podcast on platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, wherever podcast might be on. You can go stream and download the audio version. If you want the high definition video, the podcast, while it's being recorded, make sure that you check it out on the YouTube channel. Search KYREN Monteiro, the KYREN Monteiro Show. It is available on there. Y'all, I'm excited about this guest. This is my guy, man. We've been talking about having him on here probably for at least about the last year. I've been doing this a couple years now. He is a pastor, worship pastor, musician, singer, songwriter, son, grandson, brother, friend, personal friend of mine, brother in the faith, the one and only. Pastor AMONTE King, man. Let's give him a round of applause, man.
Yes, sir.
Talking that mic, boy. Don't be scared of that. You know how to talk in this mic. What's up, man?
I appreciate it. I appreciate the intro. That's a good introduction, man.
Hey, how you feeling today, man?
Hey, it's raining outside, but it's summer, so I feel good. Honestly, man, I feel good.
Dog, we just got about 10, 12 days of 100-degree weather.
We did. We got another one coming up, though.
Yeah, it ain't over. This could last till August.
Till August, yeah.
Yeah. It can at least through the day, and then it'll the mornings and the evenings will be a little cooler, man. But I feel like somebody like yourself, man, you're good on this. This isn't necessarily, I mean, scriptures can be backed up with this. This is really to encourage anybody,
yeah,
just on a practical level to do anything. But when I like doing this stuff, man, because I like encouraging people. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I feel like podcasts are a great platform to do that on. You know what I'm saying? You can do something outside of music, outside of, I guess for you, sermons, and things like that you can't do. I remember some years ago, man, with my homie Jasmine Rowe, high level agency, who was my former booking manager, your brother of mine. Jasmine was a bad man, man. When we worked together under Holy Soldier Records, now Engage Records, when I went by the Messenger, man, he was in the mud with me, man. He was in the trenches. He did so much more than booking.
Yeah.
He did so much more than what he got paid for and what his job technically was. He was just in the water swimming.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
He was all in.
It's hard to find people like that, man.
Yeah,
so salute to my guy, Jasmine Rowe, man. But he told me something. I was definitely in a dark spot in my life due to my own actions, and definitely wanted to give up. And I remember that he told me something. He said that when you don't live to your highest potential, when you're not operating, at the highest level that you can, and who God made you to be, you rob the people around you, and you rob the world at large, because we all need each other.
Yep.
None of us was created for isolation.
Yep.
We all bring something to the table. Often we celebrate celebrities, we celebrate musicians and athletes and stuff like that. We celebrate pastors. We celebrate the faces of the brands. But there's so many valuable people behind the scenes. And it could be somebody sitting on their couch, sitting in their car, wherever they might be listening to this right now, in the gym, on the job, working, wherever it might be. And they might have something in them, a seed that God planted in them, but out of fear, out of insecurities, out of doubt, whatever it may be, they don't want to birth that, man. So I feel like this is a good topic, man.
Yeah, it's a great topic.
I feel like it's a good one, man. So for you, man, when you think about what Jasmine said, and that quote, what's your thoughts on that?
Man, something you just said that goes off of that. You said we celebrate the faces, and it seems like a lot of times the people behind the scenes, they don't get as much recognition. And then a lot of people, like you said, might be watching from the couch at home, driving down the street on their way somewhere. They might feel like, oh, I'm not a face, right? Like, I'm not a face. Like, I hear what the quote said, you know what I mean? If I'm not using my gift, giving it to the world, then I'm robbing somebody. But am I really? Like, there's people that probably wonder that. Like, am I really robbing anybody? And it's like, yeah, there's a face to a specific brand, right? Like, if you think about it from that perspective, everybody looks to the faces most naturally, but behind every face is a full team of people that are doing work that the face can't do. And then beyond that, I think about it like this: everybody is a face to somebody. Everybody's a face to somebody.
That round of applause, boy. Hit that yellow ball right there, man. That's a bar, man.
Everybody's a face to somebody. So it's like, as a pastor, the way the culture is going, a lot of pastors are going to have to start working full-time jobs and be bivocational again. That was popular back in the day, and then we went through a big stretch of time where there's a lot of churches that offer full-time salaries that will help a pastor take care of his family, but now it's going the other way again. And it's like, okay, that pastor, he might be the face of his church, but then he got to go to Walmart distribution center and work. He ain't the face at Walmart DC. See what I'm saying? He's behind the scenes making the DC work, whereas at the church, he the one up there preaching, but his whole team is operating everything else while he's at work. See what I'm saying? Like, everybody's a face to somebody. So even before we go any further, I just want to get that in your heads. Like, Cairo told me before we started, he's like, hey, this episode is geared towards everybody. It's not just church people. So I'm a talk straight. Hey, if you watching this, it don't matter what you believe about God. God believes in you, and he like he said, he put all this stuff in you. You a face to somebody, and then like he's saying, everything that you feel that you have on the inside of you, if you don't use it, you're wasting it, you're losing it, and what you got can either help build another face, or it can help you build your own table that you invite others to sit at. You know what I mean? So really, we need not to waste what we got.
Hey, man, that's why I love having this cat on, man, because he can talk just as much as me, and that's a good thing, man. So I got some points, man, and we're gonna talk about these, man, and feel free to add on. First point I want to cover is that passion and interest can expose potential value. I'm gonna say that again. Passion and interest can expose potential value. I'm gonna reel this in what me and my bro do. We ain't like this newer generation. We are real musicians. we ain't iPhone musicians. We real music. We can pick up instruments. We can write songs. We can really do this thing, right? I can't sing. I rap, but Amonte, he sings. I might dabble with the auto-tune a little bit, but I ain't no singer though. You know what I'm saying? But ever since we was kids, I'm a little older than him. I'm 34 currently. You what? 24. So I got a decade on the man. But when we were younger, we both grew up in church. Both grew up in Black Baptist churches, actually. Greatest Second Baptist Church and St. Paul Baptist Church here in Indiana. Salute to both of those churches and pastors that have went on before. Staples in this community. But when you look at us growing up, it wasn't very hard for us to know what we was going to do, right? Because ever since we came out the womb, it's been music. It's been music. It's been creativity. It's been, leadership attached to gifts.
Yep.
So I heard Kobe Bryant say, like, if you can find a passion at a young age, like, you extremely blessed and lucky, because most people may not find it till their 20s, 30s, sometimes even their 40s, man. But if you look at your passion and your interests, it can expose value, because a lot of times what you're good at is valuable to somebody else. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if you're listening out there and you're wondering, maybe you have a desire to start up a business, start up a ministry, start up, maybe contribute to something that's already existing. Maybe you don't want to just start your own, but whatever the vision that you may have, or the idea, whatever your gift or whatever, look at what you're interested in, because everybody doesn't know. You may have a desire, but you may not know exactly what it is. What are you passionate about? What are you good at?
Yep.
What are you most valuable at?
Yep.
Like you said, everybody's a face to somebody, man. What you got to add on to that, man?
One of my former pastors, he used to say, he used to be like, man, everybody talks about getting better at your weaknesses. He's like, but what if we stop worrying so much about trying to fix all our weaknesses and just do what we're good at? And that's not something that everybody would say. Maybe everybody listening won't even agree with that, but from where he's coming from, he was explaining, like, the reason why he had so much success in the work he was doing was because he stopped trying to do everything, and he just had what we call focused excellence. Like, I'm good at this. I'm good at these 3 things, so I'm going to do these 3 things because nobody else around here on my team will do those things as well as I can. And then not only when you know what your value is, you actually make room for other people's value to come to light. It's like,
instead of trying to do everything yourself,
trying to do it all by yourself, it's like, bro, like you said, we were not meant to be in isolation, right? If God put us on the earth with other people, we're in families. Like, you literally, God himself is a community, if you really dive deep into that. So it's like, bro, I think one of the dopest things about that is, like, what you're saying, passion and interest can expose potential value. I would say that your passions and interests, they are your value.
Exactly. Well, I think the reason that I wrote down potential value is because I think in some of these points coming up, we'll get into it, but potential without execution is just an idea.
You're right.
So we'll say that, because I already know you're going on there.
That's facts.
It's a lot of people that talk about it, you know what I'm saying, but won't do it. So if you're struggling maybe where to start at the value you can offer, look at what you're good at. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, his former pastor said, stop focusing on your weaknesses and zero in on your strengths, and open doors for other people. Point number 2. Whatever you're holding on to could elevate a current team to the next level, a holistic win.
That's it. Let me
say that one more time. Whatever you're holding on to could elevate a current team to the next level, a holistic win.
That's it.
Now, so, Amonte is a pastor. He got a church plant that he's working on. He got other things that he's doing as well. If you try to do this thing by yourself, that's an epic failure automatically.
It's going to drop.
You can't do it all by yourself.
You got to have a team.
You got to have a team. You know what I'm saying? If you want to start a record label, you want to start a studio up, you want to go start a ice cream shop, you want to... You need a team, right? And here's the other part of what was said as well is what you're holding on to, it could elevate a current team to the next level, a holistic win. So once again, what you were saying, there could already be a vision that exists There could already be a company, a ministry, whatever it may be, that exists. And whoever you are and whatever you're holding on to, you could be the missing piece to make the next Apple.
Yep.
You could be the missing piece to build the next Nike.
Yep.
You could be the missing piece to be the next Maverick City.
Yep.
You could be the missing piece to be the next Lecrae. The next Jay-Z, the next Beyonce, the next Taylor Swift, whatever, the next LeBron James, the next Lakers, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that organization may be, whatever that thing is, they all started small.
Yeah.
Even if they started with a lot of resources, they didn't start where they're at.
That's facts.
All right, Pastor, you got to talk, man. I feel like I'm
Hey,
the organ's playing in the background right now.
You got it, man. You got it, bro. Like, that's it right there. It's a team, man. I heard somebody say, if you, it's gonna be a lot of Christian references in this. All right,
that's fine.
But this one, somebody asked me one time. They was like,
let's just get it clear. Even for people that may not subscribe to Jesus, and for you super critical people, Yahweh, Yeshua, at the end of the day, this world is still built off of biblical principles. I know people who have left the faith, but they still sound like believers who don't believe in Christ. So at the end of the day, the Bible is still a practical system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with the biblical, I don't want to hear that the biblical getting mad. You can still apply this at the end of the day. My bad.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, if you ever heard of Billy Graham, right? He
huge evangelist.
He might be arguably the most famous preacher of all time, right?
Arguably, I think he is.
Okay, that's fine. Like, we don't need to get like let's say it. He is then, okay.
He's one of the most.
Somebody asked me. They said, "Would you rather be Billy Graham or the person who discipled Billy Graham?" And I said, "Whoa!" But that right there exposes how you need both. Billy Graham cannot be Billy Graham if nobody ever trained him, right? So it's like this whole thing about, okay, your gift can take a team to a next level. You could be the missing piece. Everybody's not a visionary.
No.
And everybody's also not an executioner either.
But today's culture, I feel like today's leaders pushes that through media on everybody. Got on the podcast, on the YouTube channel, on TikTok or whatever. Everybody's not an entrepreneur. I mean, anybody can go start an LLC. You can get an LLC in your state for probably, 100 to a few hundred. That don't make you a good business person.
That's right. Everybody doesn't do that.
No.
Everybody don't do that. So you gotta, that's the whole point. If you get number one right, if you figure out what you're good at, that's what your value is. Don't be afraid of like, if you're not a visionary, that's okay. If you're not an entrepreneur, that's okay. Because entrepreneurs can't run businesses without good administrators. You can't grow a company, you can't grow an organization without people who know how to get stuff done. Like, if I go to my team and I say, hey, this is what I see, this is what we need to do to get this to happen. If I'm the one saying what needs to happen and I'm the one getting every little piece put together to execute what needs to happen, I'm doing it by myself. And it's not, my vision won't happen. But at the same time, if you flip that coin on his head, it's like, can all 8 or 10 of us sit there and be like, this needs to happen? No, there's one vision, and then the team together uses their strengths to get that thing done.
Right.
So it's like, it's just changing your mindset of like, oh, I can. It's a good thing that I'm good at administration, because ain't anybody gonna be nothing without administration. I'm
here to tell y'all now. Everybody, like he said, everybody's not a visionary. Everybody's not a CEO. Everybody's not a president of something. It is okay to get in where you fit in.
Stay in your lane.
Teamwork make the dream work. These sayings have been around. At this point, they're cliche, but they reign true. And at the end of the day, you can't. If I need a singer on a song and I want to get a Monte on the chorus, if I try to do it myself, it's a terrible song.
Right.
But if I get somebody that can operate in that strength, then that record becomes it becomes better.
Just like if I try to engineer, mix, and master my own record. I can produce my own record, but I can't mix it. I can't master it. I can't engineer it.
Technically, you can, but maybe it won't be at the highest level.
Right. It ain't going to be good.
Imagine me and you, our favorite album is Thriller. Some of our favorite albums.
Yeah.
I know that the Michael Jackson Thriller album, which is still the highest selling album since '84, 45 million in its heyday. But y'all want to put Drake over Michael Jackson?
Who did that? Michael is the greatest God ever made.
Because of streaming, they tried to say that Drake on paper was more successful. You can manipulate streams. You can't manipulate physical sales.
Exactly. I'm not trying to hear none of that.
Drake, yeah. Anyway, that's a whole nother episode. Plus the way Kendrick just did it. I don't want to hear that. No, you moonwalk on back to Canada. Anyways, bro. So we both love Thriller. Can you imagine what Thriller would be without Quincy Jones?
Wow.
It'd just be a thrill.
And how many people listening to this know who Quincy Jones is?
Go do your research.
That's the point right there. Everybody's not the face, but you the face to somebody.
Yeah.
Quincy was Michael's face.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? That's cold. That's cold.
At the end of the day, man, we live in I heard Dame Dash. If you don't know who Dame Dash is, once again, let's talk about faces. Rockefeller Records, legendary record label that Jay-Z was a co-owner of, that also introduced Kanye West to the world and some other hip-hop legends. But there was Jay-Z, there was Dame Dash, there was Kareem Biggs. So there was three guys that owned that, all of them from different parts of New York City, different boroughs. And I've heard Dame Dash, say many occasions that heard him say, if you got a boss, then that's like, a man being your daddy. Yeah. Everybody needs it. Basically, I've heard cats like him have the point of, like, you need to be your own boss. And I tell you what, man, I disagree with that, because once again, you don't have the same strengths as I do. I don't have the same strengths as you do. So when we put those things together, it makes for a better it makes for a better team and a better vision. I remember with PPP loans, 2020, 2021, during the COVID, right, during the pandemic. I remember seeing so many people currently under the age of 40, start so many businesses, right, during that era. And I'm not saying all of it was PPP money. I think some people just did it, out of their own pockets. Some people definitely finessed too. Yeah. But anyways, line, you gonna put your house address talking about you got 40 employees working at your house.
Come on,
man. Anyways, that's public records. That wasn't smart. Anyways, it was not a smart move. So I remember seeing just around our city and just like all over the country, like just people starting up businesses. And I don't see too many of them joints standing right now. Right? Just because you see Michael Phelps swim don't mean you can hop in the water and do what he do. Just because you seen the way Usain Bolt ran on the track don't mean you can go out there and run the same speed in a short distance that he can. Just because you seen Mike, I'm talking about the other GOAT, Michael Jordan. Just because you seen Mike glide through the air don't mean you can go get you a pair of retros and stick your tongue out and then glide like Mike, right? Just because you go get a tennis, you ain't Venus or Serena.
Right.
Right? Just because you go in the studio and rap good, that don't make you no KYREN Monteiro.
Exactly.
Just because you pick up a guitar and sing don't make you no Amonte King. At the end of the day, God is giving people skill sets. He's giving people gifts and talents. And it is selfish to operate outside of your lane.
Now, can I bring up something?
Go ahead.
Can we specify the difference between a gift and a skill?
Go ahead. Talk about it.
All right. So he just said, like, you know what I mean? Just because you don't pick up a guitar and sing, it don't make you like me, right? So singing, I would say that's a gift that I have. Like I never had to try. You know what I'm saying? I was naturally good at that. Now,
to become a skilled singer,
you
had to steward the gift.
I had to steward the gift, and I had to work it. Like I had to practice. I sang in. You don't want to know how many groups. You know what I'm saying? But okay, now the guitar. I don't consider playing a guitar to be a gift of mine. That's a skill that I learned. I remember I went on YouTube and I said, how do I play a G chord? And then I figured out how to play a C chord. Then I figured out how to play a D chord, right?
But is the gift of musicianship and creativity though?
Right. So you might have a gift, and that gift might lead you into finding different skills that you need to use the full measure of the gift that you have. And then on the other side of that, there's some stuff that if you're going to work in a certain area, you're going to do a certain thing. There's some stuff that you might not be gifted in that you will be able to grow in as a skill set and add it to your tool belt.
Yeah, for sure.
So like don't hear us saying like, oh, if I'm not good at it, I just can never do it. There's some stuff you're not good at that you're going to have to learn how to be proficient at. You know what I'm saying?
This is why you hear me use the words such as potential, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you can have a gift, you can have a talent, you can have an idea, whatever it is that you're sitting on. If you do not execute and develop, if you don't develop that vision, that gift, or whatever, and execute it, then it's a wrap.
Yep.
I love bringing up the late great Kobe Bryant because Kobe's work ethic was ridiculous. And if you do not know about his work ethic, y'all should go research that. It is arguably him, Mike, and LeBron got crazy work ethics. Kobe, to me, it's always going to be Mike, Kobe, and LeBron in that order. That's no disrespect to LeBron, but them dudes was crazy. All of them are Mount Rushmore. All of them are amazing. That's just me. You know, you can put LeBron at number one. That's fine. I think if anybody wants to argue any of them as number one on a basketball Mount Rushmore, I would just say okay. It got to start with one of them three, though.
It's one of those two, Michael or LeBron. I don't think Kobe's top three, but that's okay. I'm gonna go with you though. I can hear why he would be though.
He was Michael Jordan 2.0. Period. If you say
2.0,
if you ask people in the NBA, if you say who, and I'm gonna say then we're gonna get back on track. Who was it? Mike is the GOAT. Bang. Who was the closest thing to Mike? People are going to say Kobe.
So that means 2.0 means better.
What he was the reincarnation of Michael Jordan.
But you did say Kobe's number one, right?
I said Mike, Kobe, then LeBron.
Okay.
No, nobody will ever be over Mike. Anyways, so one thing that Kobe is known for is his work ethic.
Yep.
And focusing on some of those weaknesses, you know, making his left hand dribbling just as good as his right, working on his jump shot. He didn't become the 5-time champion from just sitting on his you-know-what. Right. He got up and he worked, and he had to execute. So at the end of the day, talent without execution and without drive and focus, who cares? You know what I'm saying? And at a certain age, talent without execution, it becomes an embarrassment.
Yeah.
It becomes a failure. You know? Yep. Let's move to point number 3, man. Vision is seeing what others cannot see. Don't expect others to see the vision like you do. Keep going. That's relevant to you in the conversation that we had before this. Let me say that again. Vision is seeing what others cannot see. Don't expect others to see the vision like you do. Keep going. What you think about that, man?
That's a good one, man.
When you have a vision, man, you oftentimes I hear a lot of people, especially in today's culture, get mad when something works. Then people become a believer of that idea, that product, or whatever. And as creators of that, we get mad because it's like, well, when I was on the ground trying to get it up and running, you didn't support me. But now that it's successful, now you want to rock with me. No, forget y'all. And it's just like, bro, the way the human being works, we need social proof.
I was down, they didn't want me. Now I'm up, they all on me.
Jesus had time. Jesus had a cat that rolled with him and still doubted him. Had to put the hands through the hole to believe that he rose up. Human doubt is going to be a part of that. So if you're a visionary, you got to understand that it was given to you for a certain reason. And if you look at the world at large to try to validate something that they can't see, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. You're not gonna be able to. You ain't gonna be able to complete the mission. One thing about being a visionary, if you are one, it's a lonely road.
Yep.
When they say it's lonely at the top, I look at that saying, and I don't like the way the world has painted that. But when I hear something like it's lonely at the top, because sometimes at the top technically everything starts at the bottom. But let's just say in a hierarchy, being at the top, it may get lonely because you're the one the vision was given to you. And if you are a visionary and you have that, vision is seeing what other people can't see.
Yeah.
Because if it was their vision, then they would have it.
Yeah.
Come on, Doc. You look, you want to say something, man?
This is one of my favorite topics. I mean, if you have to wait for other people to validate it, you might not actually even have vision. Nobody can tell me what I saw. Like, you know what I mean? Like I saw it. So it doesn't matter if you saw it or not, or if you think it'll work, because it's the vision God gave to me. And then like people, you know what I mean? At the first instance of somebody telling you no, or somebody hating on your idea, or not supporting your idea, or not subscribing to your thing, whatever it might be, it's like people want to give up. You know what I'm saying? Or they see it as like, oh, that wasn't the vision that God gave me. Not realizing like sometimes a no is like, you heard the phrase, it's a no-go. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite preachers, man, Pastor Stephen Furtick, he said a no is actually a go, as in a greater opportunity. Like when you get no's from people, but you know that you have a vision from God, and then there's people telling you no, they don't want to support, no, they don't want to join in, they don't want to be a part. That means that there's something else for you out there. There's something else that God has set in motion. There's something else he has you like this word. There's something else that he preordained and set in his will that is going to coincide with what he has shown you. And so it's like instead of looking at your first bump in the road and saying, "Oh, I guess that's it," you got to look again. I
think if you look at the story of Walt Disney, I think Walt Disney went to over 300 banks before somebody said yes. Most people would have quit after 3.
Come on, bro.
3, bro. Can you imagine going to? I can't even name 300 banks.
I can't name 10. Well, yeah, you know.
I can't name over 100. I can't name. I don't know. 20 I don't know. But that 300 banks, man.
300.
And he had to keep going. And look at Walt Disney now. Look at the Disney company. It's one of the greatest brands and experiences on the planet right now.
Look, think about this. God told Noah, build the ark. Noah never seen rain before in his life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All the people. You crazy, man. What you building the ark? Think about it. You building your ark because God told you to do it, and you know what he said, right? I'm building my ark. My ark is what's going to preserve the human population. But I've never seen rain before. All these people tell me I'm crazy. Well, the rain comes. Now them same people
flooded
want to get on the ark.
Yeah, it's over with.
All right. Then further on in the Old Testament, 1 Kings, I thought about this. Elijah, he prophesied this. If you ain't from church, just listen to this as a story. If you're from church and you don't know the story, go read your Bible. 1 Kings 17 and 18. Ahab had opened the people up to the worship of Baal, right? Elijah prophesied there's going to be a famine, a drought in the land, and there's going to be no rain until my word. All right. Well, it happened to be like 3.5 years, right? Elijah, God told him that he was going to feed him until the brook dried up. So he eats food. The raven comes and brings him his food. The brook dries up. And Elijah, it smells like rain. So he sends his partner, hey, go. I think there's gonna rain. Go off the edge of the mountain. Look. He said, I don't see nothing. Come back again. I don't see nothing. Comes back. I don't see nothing. Goes again, 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 comes back. I don't see nothing. 7 times Elijah told him, go look again. And then that last time he came back, he said, there's a cloud the size of a man's hand. And then he got up, he saddled his stuff up, tucked his cloak in so he didn't trip over it, and he ran ahead of the cloud, right? It's like God gave him that word. He said, I'm going to speak to you and let you know when the rain is going to come. And again, I told you, those years before that he prophesied to Ahab, there's not going to be no more rain. Now imagine that, bro. Imagine saying that, like telling somebody that their country about to go in a drought, bro. Like this is crazy, you know? And then it's like the rain is coming. How are you going to allow other people to tell you that there's not a cloud when you know you see the cloud? 7 times that man told him, ain't nothing out there. Go look again. And maybe for your vision, this for the visionaries, man. Like only you won't even understand this if you're not a visionary. If you're a visionary, you tracking with me, whether you love God or you don't. You with me right now. You understand what I'm putting down. Just because there's something in front of you, it don't mean it's a closed door. It's a greater opportunity. And if the other people don't see the rain, the cloud, if the other people have never seen rain and they're telling you crazy, keep building your ark. Keep going over to look off the mountain. You gotta look again. Like, it's your vision. God gave it to you. It's gonna happen.
And like I say this like real quick. I've said this before on I don't know what episode, one of these former seasons of my podcast.
Yeah.
But I talked about with my audio production company, like for Mission to Master and stuff. My dream and my goal, well, not my dream, but my goal was I was trying to start in other people's studios. Kind of like, you know, with pastors, you may go work at a church, you know, build your name up, and then eventually get to that. I didn't want to jump out the window and just have my own services. I wanted to go work at, you know, these huge commercial facilities, you know, save up money and then one day break off, do whatever I would do.
Yep.
I was getting told no before no, you know, and I didn't have a choice. The only choice I had was to either stop, you know what I'm saying, or stay faithful to the vision. And so it's still working itself out. But I say all of that to say that, you know, like you said, you can't let other people tell you that you don't see the cloud. There's so many other stories. I mean, you can look at Jesus himself. We ain't gonna go into it. But at the end of the day, any visionary, if you let the fact that other people don't see what you've been selected to see, it's over with, man. So good stuff right there, man.
That's fire.
One of my favorite ones, man, as we almost come to a close, where God gives vision, there's always provision. And that's an old saying, what is vision, there's provision. At the end of the day, if it's for you, there's going to be a way made for it. There's going to be the right people, the right resources, the right paths. At the end of the day, God's not going to plant a seed in you just so that it can stay in you.
Right.
It has to be birth. Yep. It has to be watered. It has to be worked in order to be able to come to fruition. And so I think that if you're rambling between insecurity, doubt, and fear of why you don't start something up and you don't add that value, I think you got to understand, like, if there's really a vision that you're supposed to carry out, it's going to be provision. You agree with that?
I agree with it. And you're not going to get the provision until you take the step first.
Oh yeah, you got to.
You got to take this. Like, a lot of people are like, oh well, I'm waiting on God to provide, or I'm waiting on something to shake. No, it don't shake till you take the step. Your step is what makes it shake. Like, you have to you have to take the step first. I mean, I always think about it like literally. If I want to do something in my life, if I want to start a business, I want to start a ministry, a church, it don't matter. I want to write a song. It don't matter what it is. Like, I can't wait until the song jumps in my head.
Nah, that you can't.
I got to sit down with my instrument and I got to play my instrument. I got to make some noise. And then I will get the song. But if I only ever wait on the song to come to me, I will never have nothing written. I write the song. I write the song. You are the one with the vision. You are the one who executes it. That's how I got it. You got to know. You got to take your step first, and then the provision will come. But a lot of people wait on confirmation.
Nah, man. You need the confirmation. It goes back to the first point. Passion and interest can expose potential value. So a lot of times, you may be the one to see the vision, but sometimes in the sense of value of the vision, it can be confirmed in other people. If something is valuable, it ain't just going to be only one person to see value in
right.
that. There's going to be other people. So most of the time,
that's part of the provision.
Yeah. So, that's important, which leads us into this last point, which is strategize, plan, execute, and dominate. And I mean, that's just real plain and simple. To close it out, you got to strategize. Strategy, you got to plan those goals hand in hand, and you got to execute. But also dominate, meaning that if you dominate something, there has to be a confidence within you that you can do what the vision is and all of the plans and strategies and the execution needed at the end of the day. You have to be confident in who God made you to be. You got to be confident in the vision that he gave to you. And one thing we got to stop doing, too, stop dumbing yourself down because people are on lower levels.
Yeah.
Nah, raise your standards up. At the end of the day, if I'm walking out, I think we get this whole thing of confidence and humility wrong. At the end of the day, you can't be confident without knowing what true humility is, but you also can't be humble if you're not confident. We paint this wrong picture of Jesus. Jesus was not the most friendly, humblest dude around. You know what I'm saying? They asked him, they said, how can you, said he was the I am, he said, how can you're not even 50 years old. So how can you be the I am? He said before Moses was the I am. He swerved on him. He swagged on him. Just like he told the boy, where was you when I told the sun where to set and told the water you can only go this far? If we made in the likeness and the image of God. So what I'm saying is sometimes you're going to pop your stuff. Sometimes you have to walk confident in that ability. Now, I think where you direct the glory and the credit of that ability,
that determines where your level of humility actually is.
Exactly. Also, when the vision comes to life, how you help people, how you pour into other people. And I'm not talking about just money. You can pour into people in many different ways that are not monetarily at all. But I think that if you're not confident, man, why do it? If you don't want to be the best at what you do, why do it? Yeah. Okay, so you as a pastor, you preach the word of God, you shepherd people, you lead in all of that. But at the end of the day, you ain't writing sermons to be mediocre. You trying to do preaching at the highest level. Whether that requires education, whether that requires some kind of studying, critiquing yourself.
All of it.
It's the same way people do with art. At the end of the day, you trying to be the best.
You do the best. 1 Corinthians 10:31, whatever you do it all for the glory of God.
And you're not just trying to have a church, you're trying to have the best church.
Right. The best church it can be. That's like the point. Can you read the point again?
Yeah, the point is strategize, plan, execute, and dominate.
So you strategize, you plan, right? So you get what you're gonna do, and then execute means do what you plan to do. And then domination is gonna be the result, right? That's dominate. The root word for dominate is dominion. In Genesis, God's one of the first things he did, he gave dominion of the earth to mankind, to humans. We have dominion over the earth. But what humility is all about is recognizing the source of it. So my dominion, I don't have dominion, I don't have domination, or I'm not good at something because I made myself good at it. I'm good at it because God gave me the ability to be that. That's what humility is. Humility is not, oh, no, don't need to compliment me. I didn't do any work for that. No, it was all God. Well, yeah, it was all God from the source of he's the one who sourced it and resourced it, but I had to do the work. I have to sit down and take the time to practice. I got to sit down and write the songs. I got to sing the song. I got to do the work. I got to pay for it. I got to market it. I got to get it out there. It's God doing it, but God is doing it through me.
Yeah.
And we totally I think that false humility is a worse version of pride and arrogance than just straight up saying I'm the GOAT.
Yeah.
But really, like I'm saying, it's both ways. Humility is a sincere recognition of the source of your greatness. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you get to a place where you think you're the source of your own greatness, then you're not a humble person. That's not humility. And Christ, like you said, he told that man, he said, hey, before Moses I was, right? Where were you when I laid the foundations of the sea, right? All of that don't sound humble. It's humility because he said, I do what my Father has told me to do. I was sent by, he knew, Jesus Christ knew the source of his power. That's what humility is. It ain't nothing other than that. Don't let these people make you fit in some little box, bro. Be who God made you to be. You know who you are, but just don't forget who made you that.
Also, I think humility comes in the sense of accessibility, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say this on camera. You can't tell me I'm not one of the greatest master engineers on the planet, right? But also that goes into the work put in, the investment put in, the continuous work put in, and learning and growing and all of that. So to be the greatest at something, that comes with work. That comes with responsibility, not just because you feel like it. It has to be socially, that's social proof. It has to work. That formula has to be proven. But also then in accessibility, right? Because my greatness comes in also, part of my greatness is in helping other people be great.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, that accessibility of, okay, I might say I have some of the greatest mastering services, but if I don't have a way for people to contact me and I'm standoffish, right? That's not really humility, or it's not smart. It's dumb business too. But there's a level of not being accessible. So I think everything you said, but also accessibility too. You know, a woman was able to touch Jesus and be healed. He was accessible enough.
That's good.
How can somebody get touched if you're not accessible? So I think recognizing who made you and recognizing who you are because of who made you, but also having a level of accessibility and humanness to you as well. That, to me, that embodies that as well. So, man, I know this has been a long podcast, man. We got AMONTE King on this thing. Round of applause, man. Make sure that y'all check the podcast out on all platforms, man. Remember, don't be selfish. Add value, man.
Let's go.
You know, it's a lot more to be said, but I think this was power packed. I planned on about 30 minutes. We went over, and that's great because I think this thing got a lot of replay value, man. Make sure that you go check the podcast out on all platforms like Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, etc. And if you want to watch the high definition video, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Search the KYREN Monteiro Show. It will come up. My new single, Deadbeat, is available right now. Oh, also, AMONTE King is a recording artist. Make sure that you check him out on all streaming platforms. His music, check him out on YouTube and stuff. He's a great artist, great pastor, great teacher and preacher of the word, and just all around just a dope dude, man. All right, man. Deadbeat. We gonna end this thing out, man.
Yeah, I'm talking deadbeat. Kill my flesh up on this track. That's another deadbeat. Go and get the body bag, cause that's another deadbeat. The way I ride this 808, that's another deadbeat. I'm leaning on the Holy Spirit when I feel my legs weak. Kill my flesh up on this track. That's another deadbeat. Go and get the body bag, cause that's another deadbeat. The way I ride this 808, that's another deadbeat. I'm leaning on the Holy Spirit when I feel my legs weak. You real, you stand on something, yeah, that's what the word and culture preach. But as I walk, no lie, sometimes I feel my legs get weak. But I got that fighter in me, feeling undefeated. Thankful for his grace, cause I'm just an undeserving he. Sometimes he gotta chisel me to go into another season. Grace and mercy saved the day, cause we the reason he was bleeding. Let a hater hate, cause in my walk, they irrelevant. Fight squad, the movement.
Talking legacy and excellence. Remember, man, y'all go be great, man. Do not be selfish. Give value to the world. It's important that you add value to the world, because if not, think about it. Him as a pastor, him as maybe a future businessman or whatever, may not be able to go to the next level because you didn't hone in and you didn't bring to the table what you have. You could be the next CEO or visionary where we could be making your vision work better.
Yep.
But that won't be able to happen if you don't do. Remember, life is nothing but a partnership between heaven and earth. You got to do your part at the end of the day. If you sit around and just wait for the sky to crack open and think that somebody going to hand you something, it's not going to happen. It is your responsibility to get up, make it happen. Faith without works is dead. And there's a lot of cemeteries out here. Let that resonate, man. We out this thing.
Peace.